Good evening, all. Today is a special day as far as the celebration of any festival is concerned. National Doctors' Day is celebrated on 1st of July every year in India for the past 32 years, honoring the legendary and renowned Dr. B.C. Roy. And to my surprise, when I looked in the history, I realized that Doctors' Day celebration is also associated with our anesthesia fraternity. The history of Doctors' Day dates back to March 30th, 1933, when the first celebration of the day was observed in Georgia. Mrs. Eudora Almond, wife of Dr. Charles Almond, initiated this concept of dedicating a day to honor physicians. 30th March was selected as anniversary of Dr. Crawford Long's invention in anesthesia. 30th March is celebrated as Doctors' Day in USA, and we Indians celebrate it on 1st of July. Doctors' Day is celebrated on the anniversary of first use of ether as an anesthetic for surgery by Dr. Crawford Long on 30th March 1842. So this was really a surprise finding that even Doctors' Day is related to our fraternity. Gurupoornima is celebrated on 3rd of July 2023 this year. It is a day to honor our teachers or gurus in our life. It is observed on full moon day, that is Purnima, in the Hindu month of Ashad, which is usually June and July. Today, we ISA members are lucky as we are getting opportunity to celebrate both these festivals together, and also very lucky to have 7 eminent teachers from anesthesia faculty all over India who have produced a great impact on lives of many students. We are very thankful to all of them for accepting our invitation, and all of them are very eminent teachers in the anesthesia fraternity and do not need any special introduction. They have lots of accomplishments, but one thing is similar between all. They have taught us the valuable lessons of life, which encouraged us to achieve our goal. They have also made us believe to do impossible things possible. Pranam to all those gurus on this auspicious occasion of Gurupoornima. We have with us today Dr. Tej Kaul sir, Dr. Deepak Malviya sir, Dr. Kotur sir, Dr. Manjushri Ray madam, Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, Dr. Ranjan Datta sir, Dr. Sadhna Kulkarni madam. Welcome all the gurus. We also have many anesthesia and ISA national dignitaries with us. As Dr. Bajo already mentioned, our ISA president is busy at Vigyan Bhavan. He is getting felicitated there. But we have Dr. Mahesh Sinha, our ISA vice president with us. Welcome, Dr. Mahesh Sinha, sir.
Thank you, Manisha. Good day.
Thank you, sir. We also have our ISA academic chairman, Dr. Venkat Giri, sir. Sir, welcome. Venkat Giri, sir.
Giri, sir, welcome.
Thank you, Manisha. Thank you. I am there. I am driving. That's why I not sit down my video. Okay, I am there.
Thank you, sir. We have our honorary secretary, Dr. Supinderjit Singh Bajwa. I request sir for his introductory remarks.
Dr. Manisha, there is no need of introduction because the people sitting here, if I say any word, the only thing is I bow my head in front of all my teachers, all my seniors here in ISA. That's the only introduction I can give to this lecture. So keep proceeding. I had my this one. Punjabi mein kehte hain peri pehna. So that is there for every senior here.
Thank you.
Please continue.
Thank you, sir. My co-host for today's session is Dr. Manoj Kumar, Honorary Treasurer ISA National. Unfortunately, Dr. Rekha Madam was also supposed to join us, but because of some family important commitments, she could not log in for today's program. May I request Dr. Manoj Kumar sir to start the program.
Before starting, I would like to say few words in Sanskrit. Guru Re Brahma, Guru Re Vishnu, Guru Re Devo Maheshwara, Guru Re Sakshat Brahma, Tasmai Sri Guru Re Nama. So I respect and honor to all the Guru present here. Charanas first to all the Guru. Thank you, Dr. Manisha, ma'am. My question to Dr. Malviya, sir. Sir, you are the professor and head of Department of Anesthesiology and Critical Care Medicine at the Ram Manohar Lohia Institute of Medical Science, Lucknow. What is the role of discipline in teaching and how do you approach it, sir?
Sir, unmute yourself.
Unmute, sir. Malviya, sir, please unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Manoj, for asking me this very, very relevant question. And thank you for Manisha, Dr. Bajwa, and pranam to all my colleagues. I'm seeing here all the learned colleagues of mine here sitting here. And I just pranam to them and congratulate him on Dr. Day to all the NSCC faculty members. Manoj has asked me the question, what is the role of teaching and practice? Can you repeat again, Manoj?
Sir, what is the role of discipline in teaching and how do you approach it, sir?
That's why anesthesia, that's very important, relevant to the undergraduate especially, because when we joined anesthesia, it was only limited to the four walls of operation theater. Anesthesiologists are limited to four walls of operation theaters and few drugs only available, few equipments were available, very scanty. But now it has a very important role, especially in undergraduate must know a person who has a medical degree how to resuscitate for what Chakra Rao is fighting for it, and whole of the society is fighting for the last 40 years for this way. Dr. Couture has done a lot about resuscitation work. He has talked to so many societies and different societies to do it, and this must be part of the integrated teaching program of this. And second thing, by this unfortunate event, pandemic, which happened 2 years back in the whole of the world, the role of anesthesiologists come in the market. Now everybody knew what is the role of anesthesiologist. Now the whole of hero is of this pandemic is in the medical fraternity is anesthesiologist. So this is the way we have to teach now. The National Medical Commission also declared so many chapters and compulsory program for the teaching, even to change to the internship for this program. I'd like to say.
Very well said. Very well said, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And next question I would like to ask Dr. Tejkol, sir. Sir, you have been a teacher for quite a long time and was professor and head of the Department of Anesthesia and DMCH Ludhiana. Sir, how do you incorporate your strengths into your teaching profession?
Good evening, everybody, and a very happy Doctor's Day to all whosoever is in this webinar. I am fortunate to be in the company of the very top galaxy of the teachers of anesthesiology in the country. And I feel myself very fortunate. I must thank the organizers for it. You have asked me probably how do you incorporate your strengths? Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know whether I have any strengths in my life, but I have always tried to teach my students the simplest of the things, which includes to be honest, to be punctual, to be disciplined. These are the three primary things which leads a doctor, particularly an anesthesiologist, to be a proficient and a successful practitioner of anesthesiology. We must always try as a teacher to lead from the front. One has to create a situation, create everyday atmosphere to lead by the front, and always set an example. It is not that what you teach others, you may not practice yourself. I used to tell my students that we were 12, 13 teachers in the department. And I would sometimes the students would say, sir, somebody is telling like this, somebody is telling like that. What should we follow? My advice would be always, you ask the teacher that how we should do and why not like this. There should be an explanation. In case the books say or the journals say that this is the proper technique, why are we not following it? Why are we not monitoring? Why have we not put an arterial line in this? We must ask the teacher so that we know that what was the reason. If an arterial line was indicated, why did we not put an arterial line in this? There must be some reason there, which the student would always remember. Otherwise, he will think that, like say, suppose pheochromocytoma, there the teacher did not put an arterial line, it was not needed. So the teacher will give some justification for not following the normal protocol. A teacher should also never shy from facing any problems. We should lead from the front. I have always said that the teacher should always lead from the front, help the students in solving all their problems, small or big. That gives confidence and wisdom to the student who are the future pillars of the fraternity. We must always behave like a mentor, where a student has confidence in his teacher and just walk into his room and talk any problems, whether it is academic or non-academic. I have throughout my life tried to incorporate these points in to my students, and I am fortunate that my students still remember me and they are my big asset. Thank you, Dr. Manisha. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In fact, I would say it is your humble opinion that you do not have any strength, sir. Pranam again for this sentence, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank
Manoj,
you,
sir.
Manisha madam. Sir, my question to Dr. Anjan Datta, sir. Sir does not need any introduction. With Madam Chumki Datta, his gracious presence was always appreciated by us in the conference. There is one special things to mention about the Dr. Anjan Datta, sir. He is actively involved in deliberation and training in the area of handling medical emergency and has been associated with disaster recovery personnel in life-saving foundation. Sir, we would like to know from you what made you to develop a special interest in training of highway rescue, police and a sports academic person.
Thank you, Manoj, for this beautiful question. But before answering your question, I must go to the this Doctor's Day program, because this is the eve of the Doctor's Day. Tomorrow is the actual Doctor's Day in India. We will follow the Indian Doctor's Day on 1st July, the birth and death anniversary of Dr. B.C. Roy. And then B.C. Roy was our second Chief Minister of West Bengal. He reigned about 12 and a half years in West Bengal. But most of us, I think, those who are not heard the present generation about Dr. B.C. Roy, I have put some snippets on this slide. You can read this. His MRCP and efforts here simultaneously in 1990. And he is the founder of our Indian Medical Council. Indian Medical Council, IMA, and Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University, what not? He is a multidisciplinary man. He was a teacher, he was teaching anatomy and physiology, both subjects in Carmichael Medical College and Medical College. I have an opportunity to see him. He treated me twice, so I know him very personally. My father was very acquainted with Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai, and I have seen his deathbed, and that was a Sunday. I still remember his deathbed. I don't want to say you can read. It is a long history about him, but we are not aware that this Doctor's Day is observed in India on 1st July, but in another big country, international, American Doctor's Day in the name of Crawford Law. One country is following Doctor's Day in Crawford Law anesthesia. Now, coming to the question, Manoj, why I have been taken interested in this? Because in this gallantry of the teachers, I really say that I am not a teacher. I never. Some feedback is coming.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I was throughout my career about more than 45 years in private practice. No attachment anywhere. But why I choose this thing? Because my teacher, Dr. Vimal Bose's son, has died by a road traffic accident on the day of IMA election. I was house surgeon, and he was totally shattered on that. It was run over by bus on the Calcutta street. And from that period, he wanted to establish an body to teach the police personnel and street vendors, hawkers, and everybody for resuscitation. Then we, with the help of the police commissioner, we made a body, HARP, Highway Resuscitation Body. But because of such only small resources, it was not fruitful and not continued much well. After that, when I left all this anesthesia politics from ISA, I got some time. Then we created this Save Life Foundation. Of course, it is not new. It is in Baroda. Another Save Life Foundation is working. You can see how much we have done for last 15 years, more than 15 years. We are working in that. We have covered more than around 1,000 kilometers in national highways from Calcutta to Baripada, one way, another side up to Dhanbad, and in northern side up to Malda, we have covered all these things. But ultimately, that has to be closed down this year because of want of fund. So government has initially they contribute some fund, and after utilization of certificate, they used to give little bit of money, mostly from our own pocket, and some CSR projects helping. We continued all this thing, but we could not continue because of this. And after post-corona period, we have to close down the society or want of fund. But how much we have recovered, you can see the death, victims, accidents, all these things. Still the phone lines are active, systems are active, but I don't know after our team who will take over these jobs. It is real and tremendous job. We have Manjushri also knew the thing project, because we have trained all the police station en route up to Baripada in the national highway in one side, western side, up to Dhanbad and Malda. All the police stations, school teachers, the clubs around, everybody has been trained on how to resuscitate, rescue, all these things. But it was a voluntary project. Now I have to give up this project this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
sir.
sir. Sir, definitely, it was a very noble cause, and I must salute to you for this, sir. Unfortunately, you had to stop that because of lack of funds, and definitely we will try to again regenerate it and we'll find out what can be done. It is a very helpful for the local people there, and it's going to be life-saving for so many people. Thank you so much, sir. My next question to Dr. Manjushri Ray, madam. Madam is principal in Agartala Medical College with a teaching experience of 34 years and administrative experience of 11 years. Madam, can you please guide us how, what protocols you will follow in bringing uniformity and standardization in the practice of anesthesia, even in remote areas?
Good evening, everybody. And once again, happy Doctor's Day. It's a great pleasure for me to be a part of this meeting. And the effort made by ISA headquarters, especially Dr. Manoj, Dr. Manisha, under the guidance of President, Vice President, Dr. Sinha, and Secretary Dr. Bajwa, to organize such beautiful evening and giving us the opportunity to meet our old friends in this virtual platform is really very commendable. Coming back to the question asked by Dr. Manisha regarding maintaining uniformity and standardization in anesthesia practice. As far as rules, regulation, guidelines, they are there. WHO also have made clear-cut guidelines about practicing safe anesthesia. And our ISA have our own guidelines. So they are there. But actually, who is responsible to maintain standard anesthesia practice in rural setup? Of course, the anesthesiologist who is working there, because most of the rules and regulations, they are for the benefit of the patient, not for the anesthesia. So, and I believe everyone is very much concerned about the safety and security, whether they are the administrator or the surgeon or the relative. Now, it is our duty to make them understand that what are the standards to be followed in the rural area, even everywhere, and especially in the rural area, so that patient safety should not happen. Personally, I would like to share that I started my career at Darjeeling District Hospital. Then I got the opportunity to work different rural places. And it is my opinion that many a time, anesthesiologist himself or herself is responsible for unethical or substandard anesthesia practice. Because I have seen the people having MD anesthesia degree, they enter in theater without much asepsis. They administer subarachnoid block without maintaining asepsis, without checking anesthesia machine, or even without checking the blood pressure. This is very sad, but this is the reality. So this practice we have to change. Do we have any solution? Of course we have. And here the role of the teacher are very, very important. Especially if the teacher really think that the postgraduates should be trained in a way so that they should not go for unethical practice, so that they, from day one, they should hammer repeatedly that what to do and what not to do. Here, I would like to share one of this my incident, because one of my postgraduate who is now in UK, after completion of his post-graduation, he was doing private practice in some institute in Kolkata for some period of time. And one day he came to me and said that he is facing lots of problems. And he was really very much depressed. Then when I inquired, he told me that there are few institutes where one anesthesiologist, they are administering anesthesia for more than one day. And he told me that, madam, you taught me that one anesthesiologist should give one case at a time. Now, how should I compromise? I told him, you are intelligent enough, you know what is right and wrong and what is ethically correct. You please do it, and that will be your safety major. So what I believe, the role of teacher is very, very important. If they hammer repeatedly, definitely the scenario will change. Scenario has already changed because already we have discussed with the Sadhana madam regarding the awareness program and many things. So now situation has changed, but still we have long way to go.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
your words of wisdom. Yes, sir, Manoj sir, please.
Thank you, ma'am. My question to Dr. Sadhana Kulkarni, madam. So, madam, you have 42 years of experience in teaching experience. You are a popular teacher. What is your teaching style to an anesthesia student?
I feel myself blessed to participate in this particular program. And I think I am representing my teachers who have shown us the view beyond the horizon. I am representing my patients who taught me, helped me to learn. And I am representing my students who inspired me for this particular state. Thank you so much, Manisha and Bajwa sir, for giving me this opportunity. Manoj, thank you. Now, regarding the question, what is my teaching style? So I think I am following the same style which most of the teachers are following. Only I am doing something different in different way. For example, when my student first comes to the department, I allot one more JR2 along with that JR1 as a companion so that he can help that particular student to solve his basic problems. Then we have introduced induction program for the newcomers. For 15 days, we give scenario of entire our specialty and how the working of the department is going on. I am very much interested in pre-anesthetic checkup. I personally, even when I became professor, I participated in pre-anesthetic checkup program and taught my students the perioperative care of that particular patient and what are the particular problems with that particular surgery. And I think this is very important. And I also taught them how to write the referral notes. Just don't write that give fitness for anesthesia. What specifically you want from that cardiologist or the neurologist. So this was the particular things which I taught them in the pre-anesthetic checkup. I made post-operative rounds compulsory. So next day, they came to know what were the expectations of the patient and what went wrong. So that helped us to improve in our system. In the training program, whatever specialty anesthesia trainings were not available, I posted the patients in other hospitals or the institutes for cardiac anesthesia and neuro anesthesia, so that by the end of the post-graduation, they were exposed to all types of anesthesia. In the postgraduate activities, I have seen that they were not just for completion of the curriculum. I saw that the activities are to solve the problems of the residents. What are the problems which they are facing and how we can solve them. I taught them the analytical and critical thinking, as Professor Kaul told that they should know why this particular thing is done, and if it is not done, what will be the harmful effect on the patient. So my method of teaching was also similar. I also have promoted self-directed learning. We have museum in our department, and the students, they prepare the charts of the history or the major historical events in anesthesia. So also comparative charts of the intravenous anesthetic agent, volatile anesthetic agents, so that in a nutshell, they could compare all the different types of the agents in that single chart. They also participated in the skill training program and participated in the videos which were prepared for how to communicate to the patients, how to disclose a critical event and or declare death like that. So that's how when the students participated in the training program, they enjoyed that very much. And most important thing, I always insisted for the record keeping. Even though all the performers were there, one faculty was appointed to check all the performers whether they were filled properly or not. Otherwise, most of the time what happens is that the JR1 at the end of the OT, he writes down all the notes in a same manner, that pulse rate varied between 70 to 80. All the patients, they have same pulse rate and rest of the things. So we have seen that the performance should be completed on the table itself. And that was also analyzed monthly, what were the complications which we are facing and what is the fault in the system or whether it is a fault with the person. So that's how we could improve in the department. Regarding the critical event, I was always there for every critical event when it occurred in the department, particularly when the death was declared, so that the faculty as well as the students, they felt assured. And I insisted that the residents should go for the post-mortem on the next day and find out what was the definitive cause of that particular death. And all that record was kept in the department. And on the third or fourth day, we analyzed the event, and that helped us to improve the system. And it was made very clear that it is not to find out the fault with the resident or the person, but to find out the cause so that we can prevent the critical incidences in future. I also made the students aware of their social responsibility. They participated in public awareness programs, BLS and COLS training programs in the society. So also awareness about the cancer. So all these programs, and the students enjoyed it, and they felt as if they are a responsible person and they are addressing the society, and everybody enjoyed all these programs. So I think they should be involved in the social activities also. Regarding one thing in the examination, one student who was not doing up to the mark, but the external examiner passed him. So after the result, I called him and told that you know where you stand, and please complete 6 more months in the department, and then only you practice. And that student agreed without a single argument. He worked sincerely for 6 months and then practiced. I think that's how we can create a bond between the teacher and the student, and that will definitely help. Mainly I teach the students because it's not only my passion, but I think if we teach the students, then only our patients are safe. That's why I teach my students, because teaching is learning again. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Very valuable advice for us and all the young generation anesthesiologists. Thanks. Over to Manisha, madam.
Yeah. Thank you, Sadhana, madam. My next question to Dr. Radhakrishnan, sir. Sir doesn't need any introduction. He has done a lot of work into academics. Sir, you are involved in ISA since 1973. You have seen the nurturing of ISA and various branching of ISA into various subspecialties, and definitely you have done a lot in uplifting the standard of education. What more advice would you give academics as the backbone of ISA?
Thank you, Manisha. Well, I thank everybody in ISA, the secretary and his team members, Manisha, Manoj, Reha, everybody who are behind this particular program. It's a wonderful program. On the eve of Doctors' Day India, to voice on anesthesiology and ISA. Good. The question what he said, Manisha, is something really difficult to answer. The question is that I completed 50 years in clinical anesthesia. When I was coming to anesthesia at that time, it was either and trialing. Well, there is no chloroform. I heard of chloroform. But I have seen all the other things. I'm in the trial and error and all those old apparatus. And we worked through that particular apparatus and we were able to learn things bit by bit. And during the post-graduation, well, a tough period of time at PGH and here, well, was able to know the subject in detail and was happy to know about and was rather contented with the knowledge I gained, and I was able to carry on with that particular knowledge which I gained and was able to train my juniors. I won't say my juniors, my colleagues. I was able to bring all my colleagues to the specialty of anesthesia to make them responsible citizens, and they are working as excellent anesthesiologists all over the world. Now, coming to my attachment with the Indian Society of Anesthesiology, well, it starts from 1973. In 1973 only, I joined the Department of Anesthesia at Trivandrum. At that time, we just completed a national annual conference at Trivandrum. Well, not many may be knowing, and not many people were attending. Hardly it's just after the war, and say around 300 or 350 persons were attending that particular meeting. From that meeting, the idea evolves to start a branch in Kerala, and the Kerala branch was formed sometimes in middle 1973. Later, many other branches came up. Now we have something like 19 branches in Kerala. That is a wonderful index because so many people are interested and so many are coming. And now coming to anesthesia and how we are going ahead. We are going ahead very well compared to the old days. Because as you said in the prelude, well, the drugs have changed. The system has changed. The machine, the availability of mankind and the technicians and all these particular people are coming up. That means there are a lot of things which we may be able to do and may be able to get better result. But after all, what you look is the quality of the particular work and how their quality is counted and are you safe enough. That means safety and quality even today remains as a highlight because we are all interested in giving them maximal quality as well as the maximal safety. But certain things which you have to think about because the safety and quality, well, you agree, but at the same time, we had to give a uniform anesthesia practice all over the country, which is even now not possible. That means our practice standard is, but in the last 5-7 years, it has changed. It's coming up almost to a uniform style because of so many guidelines and the protocols which we are forcefully implementing in practice, which are allowing the quality to be kept as well as safety to be maintained. But the question is that, well, we still has to work on it, and we have to think that it's a cost-conscious, quality-proven, safe anesthesia has to be introduced. For that, we may have to work hard. We may have to work for some more years. I'm hopeful that in 10-15 years' time, we may be able to bring up that particular style. Because if you look at the where developed countries, well, I'm saying of States or UK or Western Europe or Australia or New Zealand, all these places, because they have improved in all these things. But because of many reasons, they have more money to spend on healthcare, whereas we don't have that much money to spend on healthcare, because healthcare is the least spent area in our everyday government administration. But that will change. That has to change. That will change. That's my impression. But more than that, we have to see that. We have to see that because as Dr. Sadhana was telling, as well as Manjula was telling about, see, our people are becoming a bit lazy. That laziness has to be curbed because we don't want that particular laziness doing it. Because anesthesia, well, mind is a very serious specialty. Safety is one thing which we have to take to the heart and to our brain. And we have to see that our every work, every area starts with a lot of difficulties, and we have to come out without much problem. That means my idea, probably in another 5-6 years' time, if we work hard, probably we may be able to make a cost conscious. I don't mean cheap. I mean, or say cost conscious, quality proven anesthesia practice, which is almost uniform all over in India, has to be introduced. For that, we have to have something else done. That means we have to promote our juniors or all the colleagues to see that they get more updated with the current anesthesia knowledge. That means the basic skill to start with has to be updated every 6 months at least. And again, they have to go with newer protocols, areas where more effort has to be introduced and has to promote the subspecialties of anesthesia. Unfortunately, we are losing many areas which are rather close to our chest, like the pain management, say the critical care management, the trauma management. Well, all these things were once upon a time anesthesiologists only were responsible. But fortunately, the code has opened up. COVID has given us a bit more status in the particular matter because they were able to get the old world, not India alone, the old world was able to tell the particular specialist of anesthesiology may be able to save a life because of their knowledge on certain areas which are the basic clinical skills where they are well versed, and they may be able to put that and they may be able to prolong the life like that. We have to see that we are the masters of volume, ventilation, and pain. See, this should not go away from us. See, as he said earlier, the pain management has gone to some people. Well, I don't want to because after our own colleagues in other branches, it has gone. And well, the critical care, which was with us only, that is slowly drifting. Even the government is thinking in favor of them. And now the trauma also. But this we have to recapture. How we may be able to recapture? Probably we have to say, we are the persons involved because nobody else has in their curriculum in the postgraduate days these many hours or days spent on teaching on the volume management, pain management, critical care management, ventilation, and all these things. That means we have to regain all these particular things, which we may be able to do only through very hard work. That means my friends everywhere has to be really told about the importance of your basic skill or life-saving skill. I may say life-saving skill, not the basic skill. Life-saving skill, which we say as basic skill in anesthesia, the life-saving skills has to be updated every 6 months. Whether you know or not, you have to have some hands-on work to see that your hands are still superb and you may be able to do what you want very well. And your knowledge on the volume management and the pain management has to be made updated. So once you may be able to get all these particular things, we may be able to thrive well. Because the problem today is that some of us, I really pity those guys. Well, they may be able to read a pulmonary function test results, or say how to analyze an ECG, or say an echo. Well, all these things are not possible, but these things were taught during your postgraduate days. But somehow you fail to keep a knowledge or get updated with all these particular things. That means this particular attitude, that means putting a needle in the back and sitting going and collecting the money and going back has to change. That means we have to be a bit more sincere in our attitude. So if we are sincere and if we know well on all these particular matters, well, we may be able to do well. But another thing which we have to come from the government, which we have to promote the government, or rather we have to compel the government, is that even after 75 years of independence, well, everything is promising very well, but we don't have a very good statistics. Indian Council of Medical Research is failing in having a proper statistics. None of the hospitals or none of the departments in India may be able to say how many cesareans they have done in a year, or how many mitral valve what have been done, if it is being done well, or how many amputation done. That means there is no national or state statistics on this particular matter. In fact, here we fail very badly. In fact, unless we have this particular matter sorted out, we won't be able to go any further. That means we may be able to get a new drugs, new equipments, and all these things, but we need certain basic things to improve further. This is my opinion at present on our strategy. Then, to promote, well, I may say there is absolutely no harm in promoting our youngsters to go out of the country. They all should go. They all should go and learn what is going on around the globe. That means I don't want them to go and settle, because there is nothing called a brain drain and all that, because these were there maybe in 70s or 80s, but there is no need to think about brain drain and all. People are going for their own pursuits. They want some amount of money, and I'm sure they will come back. And again, mind, it is increasingly difficult to get a job in future years. All these particular opportunities going to remain only for another 10, 15 years. 15 also is going to be a wild expectation. Probably 5 to 10 years, probably may be able to get a job. And anybody within that particular age group, and if you are qualified, and if you may be able to pass the particular examination of the country, that particular qualifying examination of the country, you can go to that particular country and practice. And I promote, even today I promote, rather I mentor with the children to help them to go out and work for some years and come back, because so many things are achieved, because they know about the culture, they know the practice style, which we want to be adopted. And another thing what I say is that even we have to put some information into this particular matter, because these days, well, our practice is mostly centered in the urban or the semi-urban area. We are failing to have the rural population or the hilly tribal people taken into consideration. This also, we should have a different mindset. This is rather a governmental matter, but anyway, ISA also may be able to think about that, because ISA should promote the government, or rather make the government understand, well, if you're going to give facility in the villages, the rural areas, semi-rural areas, or the hilly and tribal areas, there I'm sure people will be interested to go there and work. So unless we go there open-heartedly and work there for the benefit of our own fellow citizens, we're not going to improve as a nation. So these are my thoughts at this particular moment, and I will join you later if anything comes across.
Thank you, sir. My next question to Dr. Katur, sir. Sir is currently serving as a Dean of AVMC Puducherry. He being past Registrar of KLE University, Vice Chancellor of Kolar University, and the Dean of Sri Sai Satya Medical College, and have a vast experience of administration. Sir, my question to you, do you feel that anesthesia subjects should be added in the curriculum of undergraduate as a separate subject?
Yeah. First, let me wish you all a very happy Doctor's Day and good evening to all my friends, colleagues, and the office bearers, Dr. Manisha, Dr. Bajwa, Manoj. Now, without taking much now, instead of answering this question straight, either yes or no, I like to justify a couple of points. This question has been over there ever since I entered anesthesia fraternity almost 4.5 decades back. From that time onwards, we have been discussing this question. Anesthesia should be added as a separate subject for MBBS. Now, what I like to say in my journey of these 4.5 decades in anesthesia, how in the different phases of life, different experiences, different perspectives, I just like to share. Initially, there was a time when we were feeling that our specialty is second to none, and it should be one of the subjects wherein, in the final year, because see, every subject is important for that particular person. Okay, that was the time. Then, when we were in actively in the Indian Society of Anesthesiologists, we submitted several referendum to the Regulating Council, Medical Council of India. That was one phase of work. Now, by looking back, now after playing my innings at different levels, what I feel, the perception, if you ask me, many may not like my opinion, it is my individual opinion. My answer should be no. Anesthesia should be separate paper, should not be there for the final MBBS. In the sense, why I'm telling not that anesthesia is less important or anything, like to justify being a educationist, being a head of the institution, being a head of the university, and seeing all walks of life. What do you feel? If you realize the present curriculum, present burden for the students, etc., then it's first of all, the 1.5 years MBBS was shrunken to 1 year. Those kind of things have been happening. And in this one, where is the time for the student to as a separate subject? Like that, ophthalmology has become separate, ENT has become subject, psychiatry will ask for that. So like that, there is no end. Now, with the various reforms and reformations that are taking place, the Regulating Council has rolled out the competency-based curriculum, wherein enough emphasis is given on skill training, that to life-saving skills. We have got a lot of avenues to teach in whatever opportunities are there, rather than having a separate subject, separate examination. That is a different issue. One, we all teachers should realize what needs to be taught. And another thing is anesthesia itself has widened. It is a perioperative physician, critical care, pain management, anesthesia proper, then ultrasound guided. So the curriculum of anesthesia or content anesthesia itself has increased. And how we can go on burdening the student all this? Instead, what we should teachers, anesthesia should do is we have given some limited number of days of posting, limited number of classes, etc. In these things, what needs to be mandatorily taught to the thinking that way, that will be rather a better a better approach than claiming for the anesthesia as a separate subject. We have a push as those who are on telling, teaching anything and everything for during the course of 3 years now. So there is quite a lot you can do there. But at the undergraduate level, when his competencies are very well defined, core competencies to be necessarily possessed by an Indian medical graduates, etc., have all been defined. When you have to focus on them rather than stuffing or kind of I should not use the word troubling the student with no much of outcome expected. If he is able to master the arts of life-saving skills, okay, and many other things, the skills also, 55 skills have been defined by the Regulating Council. Let us all anesthesia teachers sit down together and find out how we can skills to the students so that he will achieve some mastery, and thereby he will prove to be a good Indian medical doctor. We having all so that he will be a global doctor, able to capable of serving anywhere across anywhere in the country. So these are some of my thoughts to this very focused question. So if in a nutshell, the answer is I'm not for advocating anesthesia as a subject for the undergraduate program. Thank you, Manisha, for giving me an opportunity. Thank you, Bajwa, to share my thoughts.
Thank you so much, sir. I think the day I joined anesthesia, I'm listening to this debate whether to include anesthesia subject into undergraduate curriculum or not. And definitely the guidelines which you gave are definitely very appealing, sir. Thank you very much. My next question to Malviya, sir. Sir, you have done a dedicated work for ISA. You have been a past president of ISA, editorial board member of IJA, Secretary of UP chapter of ISA, and contributed a lot to IMA. You have more than 100 publications to your credit. With your professional commitments, how could you give so much time to the organization? The younger generation definitely need to learn time management from all of you. So please guide. Malviya sir. Sir, please unmute yourself. Malviya sir, please unmute yourself.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
can
Yes,
you hear
sir.
me now?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
And pranam to
Okay.
all my teachers, and thank you, Manisha, for this question. And being administrator also has to Kutur is, Dr. Kutur also said that I had been in the various positions apart from the teaching. And as a teacher, I was administrator also, director of the institute, also RML Institute of Medical Sciences. And give lot of time to the society also. This is a time management this is your interest. This depend on your personality, how you feel like. My importance, my thinking is that whatever you are, you must whatever our ancestors, our arogya Ayurveda is a lot of things are available in India, but nothing is writing. This knowledge must be transferred to the younger generation, and we must go for the protocols and all that, and that organization has to be very strong, and every teacher must contribute to the organization to keep the record keeping and maintenance for it. That's why I joined I like organization, and of course that is unity is our strength. So far as busy as a teacher is concerned, I was quote the Henry Ford lines that anybody who stops learning is old, whether he is of 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young, and keep your mind young. And every teacher must learn and must transfer knowledge to the student, and keep a teamwork must be there. And for this teamwork, this organization is very, very important. And organization, if you said there's a different type of personalities, in my time there were some professors said whatever I say that is written, that is all about that is final thing, and you have to accept it. No, anybody can be wrong. Then you must know the protocols, and protocols only the organization can make it and can tell you. And protocols are usually right, especially in anesthesiology and critical care, where this is a very, very few seconds in turning the patient life. That's very important. And we have to make sure that time schedule, time making, different time. This is part of the teaching. This is hospital time. This time we have to give to organization. They have to make it. That's it. Thank you, Manisha.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Malviya sir. Your
Yes, Manoj.
valuable advice. Thank you, sir. My question next question to Dr. Tej Kaul, sir. Sir, you had been president of North Zone of ISA, president of RSAP, and also editor-in-chief of JOACP, deputed and index journal published in India. Do you feel that association work, editorial work will be possible to a private freelancing busy practitioner, or it is not his cup of tea?
Can you please repeat it? Is association work and editorial?
Do you feel that association work, editorial work will be possible to a private freelancing busy practitioner, or it is not possible for busy practitioner?
No, it is very easily possible. It is definitely very easily possible to have association work, editorial work, and then help for the private practice. I have had a lot of association work, editorial work, and now for the last more than a decade, I am in the private practice. A freelancer is such a personality and such an important person in the society who has a good hand always on the pulse of the society, because he visits different places, different nursing homes, different hospitals. He understands the good and bad points of each and every place. He understands also the difference between a teaching hospital and a private setup. This is all the more important in a country like ours, where in the private practice there used to be a lot of crunch in the facilities available, very little facilities available, although the scene has changed now. But when I retired, when I superannuated more than a decade back, things were different. The person who has been associated with any professional association and has editorial work is probably better aware about things how should be done properly and smoothly. He has the knowledge of the minimum monitoring standards. He should make it a point to ensure that all the colleagues in the city or the town or in the area follow these minimum monitoring standards, because that is important for the safety of the patient. We must follow the Hippocratic oath that do no harm. We should not do any harm to the patient. A person who has been associated with an association is more friendly with the practitioners, because he in some or the other capacity during his lifetime has been in association with the people who are in private practice. He can be a guide and he can be a helping hand to ensure that the remuneration for the cases is proper. And he should also try to put all his efforts to ensure that the private practitioners of anesthesiology work in a team. Because as a team, if you work in a team, you will have innumerable advantages. I will just name just two advantages. One is that you will have reasonable time to devote to your family and to enjoy a holiday. And you will be always having some assistance and help in case of times of stress or problems or complications. So the association work and the editorial work is definitely an asset to help people in the private practice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Dr. Manisha.
Sir, definitely you have given a great advice to all the private practitioners to get associated not only with the organizational work but also with the IJ or the editorial work. My next question to Dr. Anjan Datta, sir. Sir, you are actively involved into ISA as a GC member, secretary, and president of ISA headquarters. You have made several landmark contributions to ISA. Can you please highlight them and how they have helped in progress of ISA? Anjan Datta, sir.
Thank you, Manisha, for nice question. When I joined in ISA, I rather say ISA politics, because I came from a new side of ISA, because before me, those who are in ISA, GC and ISA administration, all are from either teaching hospital, mostly in teaching hospital in those days. Most probably I am the first man who came from a private practice. And whole life I remain as a private practitioner. non-attached to any institution. But with this limited resources of financial, I started ISA politics. But when I got the hierarchy in the ISA, become secretary, I find that before me, all the ISA email IDs are changing every year or 3 years when the secretary changes. And we don't have any URL. So I thought I must give at least one permanent email ID and URL to ISA. That was my first effort, and that now it is still continuing. The ISNHQ at gmail.com and ISA.in. That was the two contribution because the permanent identity of ISA. It is never changing. It is Then I thought we have to identify our members. Before my era, Dr. Ranganathan used to keep everything up to Ranganathan's time. It was all in ledgers. All membership was kept in the huge ledger. Everywhere the conferences were, in a steel trunk, you have to carry all the ledgers to check the SM membership status and all these things. I got tremendous help from Dr. Naranacharya, who was in Salem at that point of time before my secretaryship, and he was working in tandem with Dr. Then he actually taken up entire data, manually put everything in Excel format. That Excel has helped me a lot to categorize and find out. Then I found out that at least there are 20% member is having multiple entries. One name, 5, 6, 7, up to 11 entries I found out. So I have to delete all these things, filtered and everything, and started collecting data from the individual member, whether they are with us, whether they are living in the same address, whether they are using the same phone, and all these things. Huge data collection process I have done because I have an advantage. That is the first time I got a building donated by K.D. Chattopadhyay at an ISA house in Calcutta. It is absolutely property of ISA. Still it is with us. The building is being used as a national headquarters at that point of time. So ample space, ample resource, and money also, because we don't have to spend anything for that building. It is all taken over by one of the anesthesiologists who is not ex-vice president of our society, Dr. K.D. Chattopadhyay. He donated the entire building with electricity, water, resources, everything. So we could concentrate on that. And still you remember that then I started how to do identification of the member. Because of the technological advantage, we took help of barcoding. I sent barcode to all the members and started barcoding of individual membership. We have got 6 barcode machine with us. And that followed after that during Venkatgiri, not Venkatgiri, that time I was the election commissioner. The present president was the secretary in Hyderabad, who started the online election. That was the country's first online election for any association in India. And that was an advantageous position for us because I was working with the central government electronic institution for medical engineering training course. They have integrated the entire election process with their own scientific team, computer team, and everything. I got enormous help from the central government electronic test development department, and they scrutinized the data, and the first election process was for 10 days. I still remember in Devashar's house in Hyderabad. 10 days without sleep, I monitored that election, that it was the first election in the country. And you see that this year the same election has been problem because of the faulty program. So this happens because if you don't have the technical knowledge, you cannot go in excellence for out of the new scenarios. And why I'm giving importance to the technical, because all of us, though I'm not a teacher, but I am teacher for the others. For whom? The medical engineers. At least I have created more than 600 medical MTech engineers in India, those who are working in the field of medical technology. And out of them, at least 10 to 20%, they are in anesthesia specialty for anesthesia machine, ventilator, monitor, and everything. Others in different, not a cup of tea of anesthesiologist. All these are taught by me, and I see the problems, what they face, and what are the interaction between the engineers, because we are going through a huge enormous change in technological advancement. Unless an anesthesiologist who are in a modern theater, they are surrounded by huge technical equipmentation. And if you don't know the details of that, you are in sick. Every time you have to call biomed of the hospital, this is not working, this is not working, this is giving the wrong. You should have little bit of technical knowledge also. That should be for the modern day anesthetic criteria. And one more, I can swear I am the only person in India who can vouch that the day of my first case in anesthesia, from house to trip period till today, all the patients' data record, every 5 minutes record is repeated. That time with the paperwork, now it is a software. Well, everything I kept, and that is a very good learning phase. Every 7 days or 10 days gap, I look upon what I have done for these patients, because all data is with me. That is a self-learning teaching. I advocate all the youngsters, please keep the patient's data sheet with you, record with you, at one copy with you. And I have developed now 4th version is going on of patient data recording. And if I have given it to without any royalty to ISA 100, and it was printed in my presidential lecture in Guwahati. It is still available. Anybody can use that thing. It is an absolutely royalty-free data processing system of anesthesia recording. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Your valuable words is very beneficial to our young and budding anesthesiologist. My next question to the Manjushree Ray madam. Madam, you have been actively involved in the ISA work as a President ISA National 2009 and Vice President ISA National in 2005. As a mother and as an anesthesiologist, it is many times tough to balance at work and home. Please guide us regarding the balance between the work, family, social, and personal life.
Thank you, Manoj. People often ask me such question, how I maintain the balance. Yes, sometimes it is very difficult to maintain the balance between the various roles which a lady anesthesiologist play, especially in Indian scenario. But one of my guru, he told me about 35 years back that Manjushri, try to maintain the compartments in your life. And that I still practice. So what he told me, don't bring the family issue to the hospital. And similarly, don't think about your professional challenges when you are spending quality time with your children. So I still try to follow those things so that I can maintain the balance. As far as time management is concerned, this is applicable for each and every person because we have only 24 hours in a day. So we should prioritize our target and then we should plan. I still remember during my early part of career, my husband was transferred to remote rural medical college and my kids were very small. So after discussion, I immediately left my private practice. because that was not possible. And I started concentrating on my hospital job, my academics, and my home affairs. But one thing is very important, and here I would like to mention, especially for lady anesthesiologists, that the family support is very, very important to maintain such balance. And I was very lucky. I have no hesitation to say that I got full support, at least mental support, from my husband and my mother. So because of them, I could able to plan, and whatever is possible from my side, I could able to do it.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam, for those words of wisdom. And I'm sure many lady anesthesiologists, even Sadhna Kulkarni madam is there. It is definitely tough for lady anesthesiologists, especially to balance the work for professional life as well as personal life. Thank you, Ms. I really like that those words from you, that when you come back home, leave your professional work when you are at home, and when you are at work, just do not think about your family. So it's a very really nice message that you have given to all of us. Thank you, ma'am. Then my next question is to Dr. Sadhna Kulkarni, madam. Madam, after retirement, you are still continuing your clinical work in the Department of Emergency Medicine. What is this mantra behind this keep going, keep doing attitude? You are still interested in even public awareness program also. Madam, please unmute.
I always believe that knowledge is always changing. And to keep myself updated, I did emergency medicine, because there was one news from the director office that all the medical colleges will have emergency medicine department. And for that, I did the emergency medicine. And but after doing that fellowship for 1 year, I retired from the government service. And then I had no opportunity to apply my knowledge of emergency medicine in the medical practice. When I joined MGM Medical College, Aurangabad, initially I joined it for establishing the palliative care department. But after joining, the management said that this emergency medicine department is now essential for the medical college, and you have to establish that. So I accepted the challenge. And when I accept the responsibility, I don't think as a burden. I take it as an opportunity to develop something new and love that particular job. And I offer my 100% for that. And that's how, because I worked in anesthesia for 42 years and completed my emergency medicine fellowship, I could do that job successfully. And fortunately, as Dr. Manjushri said, I had not only support from my family, but from my colleagues and the management also. And now I'm enjoying emergency medicine, and the things are becoming easy day by day, because now I am enjoying the job of empowering the emergency medicine system, particularly these sisters. I have prepared SOPs for emergency medicine, and it's very easy for the residents to follow them. And even now the undergraduate students are posted in emergency medicine, and for the first time they are seeing very critical patients, how the patient in shock presents to the medical college, and how that is managed, and how the diagnosis is done within 5 minutes and we stabilize the patient. I think that's very, I'm enjoying that job. And the most important is, I thank Almighty for giving me this opportunity and keeping me healthy to do all these things effectively.
Thank you, madam. We are very impressed for your kind words. Thank you. Keep blessing, ma'am, to us. So my next question to Dr. Radhakrishnan, sir. Sir, so many young anesthesiologists are leaving India for better job. opportunity, better salary and social security. What is your take-home message on that, sir? Radhakrishnan, sir? Kindly unmute yourself, sir.
Sir, unmute, please.
Sir is trying to unmute.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, Manoj, for the wonderful question. Well, today in 2022 onwards, nearly 1,200 graduates are coming out into practice. My count may not be correct. It may not be less than 1,200. Anyway, that means imagine over 1,000 people are getting qualified every year in India and joining the practice, either through national board or through medical council or say National Medical Commission. Well, there is no harm, as I said earlier, some of them joining abroad for some 5-6 years or till they make a financial stability. We should not blame them. Let them go. Let them learn more things from outside. And the whole world is open for a job, provided you are qualified to that extent and you are able to pass the required examination of the country. Once you are able to survive with that particular qualification and the capabilities to carry on a job there, well, work for 5-7 years, that's good. That's so many ways you're going to have big, good financial stability. As well as you're going to learn more things and you're going to have a cultural linking. And well, you may be able to come back to this country. This country will open up our arms every day for everybody who is returning from anywhere. So there is absolutely no problem. In fact, I may say we should promote people to go because the time is limited. Say in another 10 years' time, every country is going to have their own doctor, their own anesthesiologist, their own people, their own skill staff in every particular area. That means the chance, the facility, or say the wonderful opportunity which is now existing will not be there after 10 or 15 years' time. So people should make this particular choice open. Because a lot of things we can learn, even though we have almost all the machineries or the equipment which are being used outside, or say all the drugs which are being used, we do have the old thing. But the type of practice, what goes on in the West, or say in the developed days, is entirely different because we have to learn a lot of things from them. And we have to have a disciplined way how to practice. That means, as I said earlier, because it's the quality and the safety which matters. Quality and safety combined with basic knowledge on anesthesia. This is the only one thing which is going here. So I say absolutely no problem. On the contrary, we should promote people to go out because we should have some sort of training programs for them. And we should have open up with a UK or say America or Canada, some sort of training program for those particular people who are qualified. They may be able to accept people on a probably may not be on a proper salary, but they may be able to get people on some sort of scholarship scheme or say some sort of stipend, which is something like 3-4 times more than what is salary being paid in India. They may be able to go there. And we should work in that particular direction to promote people to go out because that is absolutely needed for the country. And I'm sure they will come back. So then my opinion is that I will promote and I'm still promoting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. My next question to Dr. Kottu, sir. Sir, you had 2 terms of editor-in-chief of Indian Journal of Anesthesia. You had been editor of SARC Journal of Anesthesia. And you are also aware about the great news that our Indian Journal of Anesthesia achieved recently. Under the guidance of all previous editors, past editor, late Dr. Lalit Menjiratta sir, Associate Editor-in-Chief Dr. Sukhminderjit Singh Bajwa sir, and Dr. Muralidhar Joshi sir, IJ has received an impact factor of 2.9. Can you guide us to achieve more and reach greater heights? Kotur sir.
No doubt.
Sir, unmute.
Measurement of the. Well, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
No doubt the impact factor.
Sir, impact factor is 2.9 this time.
Kotur sir.
Manoj, I think sir has logged out.
Yeah, we got disconnected most probably.
Don't worry, we will ask the question to sir again when he appears.
Yes, yes.
You
sir.
can continue with the next question.
Yeah. Definitely, I think the discussion is really interesting, and the words of this wisdom are really beneficial to all of us. The time is also running short. We have Dr. Naveen Malhotra sir with us today. Sir, can you guide us by the time Dr. Kotur sir joins?
Now, what is the answer you want, sir? What are you looking in this question?
I think sir has joined back. Kotur sir has
Yeah,
joined
okay, yeah.
Naveen Malhotra sir, would you like to something on this occasion?
Manoj, Dr. Kotur has joined, I think.
Okay, okay. Kotur sir, kindly unmute yourself.
Kotur sir, you are muted. We should give some 30 seconds to Kotur sir. Let him try. Kotur sir, try to unmute yourself. Yes, logged out.
Yeah, again logged out, yes.
He was traveling actually.
Yeah, he's traveling. That's
Naveen sir, would you like to say something?
Thank you very much for this opportunity, Dr. Manoj, and Happy Doctors Day to all, and pranam on the forthcoming occasion of Gurupoornima. I see all gurus here, and I am, to be honest, I am feeling nostalgic also and feeling blessed also that I have been able to work with each of them individually. I still remember the time when I was inducted as executive member of North Zone of ISA, when Dr. Paul was the first president. And we used to come from PGI Chandigarh to attend the executive meetings of North Zone ISA. I still remember Dr. Balakrishnan sir and Dr. BVR Shastri sir coming to Rohtak, and
Balakrishnan,
and Dr. BVR Shastri sir, Dr. Radhakrishnan sir and Dr. BVR Shastri sir came to Rohtak some 20 years ago and taught me about more about ISA. I still remember Dr. Anjandatta sir.
we only brought you in. Yeah, correct. Me and Shastri.
Dr. BVR Shastri sir.
Yeah, me and Shastri promoter you to come in.
And Dr. Anjandatta sir, when he was the national secretary, I was the secretary of ISA Haryana. And at that time, we used to send letters for membership, and we were very aptly guided by Dr. Anjandatta sir by his meticulous planning and meticulous work. Dr. Manjushri Ray, madam, I don't know what she saw at that time in me and wished me blessings and good luck. And
it is very difficult to ignore you, Naveen. So I know you since long time.
So with the wordings which you said some 15 years ago, I'm planning to fulfill this year. Thank you. At that time, I couldn't even visualize that I will be in such a position at one time and I will able to serve our ISA as the secretary for 4 long years, and especially during COVID pandemic. Dr. Kotur sir, though he's locked out, but I still remember we were in Bilaspur when Dr. Chabda had moved from Rohtak, and me, Dr. Baljit Singh sir and Dr. Kotur were there. And he taught me and was interested in this subventricular intubation and retromolar intubation. And he motivated me to write an original article which was published in IJA. And Dr. Malviya sir, definitely in different capacities in UP, in national, in SARC, he has been always guiding us. Dr. Sadhana Kulkarni madam, as a secretary, I had an opportunity to interact with her, especially for her public awareness programs regarding anesthesia fraternity. And madam rightly, deservedly was awarded ISA National Public Awareness Award individual in 2022. And then all my dear friends and colleagues, Dr. Bajwa, the current honorary secretary, who is doing excellent job, and for our parent body, ISA, God bless you. And aptly supported by Dr. Rekha Das, Dr. Manisha Katekar, and Dr. Manoj Kumar, the bundles of energy who are carrying it forward along with you. So I convey my, and also the presiding officer of today is Dr. Mahesh Sinha, the vice president, as our president is in another function at Vigyan Bhavan, and the past president, Dr. Venkat Giri. I convey gratitudes, greetings to all on the Doctors' Day. We are all proud of being doctors and being anesthesiologists. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I would like to invite Dr. Venkat Giri, sir, Chairman of Academic Committee of ISA National. Dr. Venkat Giri, sir, would you like to say something? Dr. Venkat Giri, sir, please unmute. Okay. Manisha,
Yeah.
please call Dr. Mahesh Sinha, sir.
Dr. Mahesh Sinha, sir. Sir, are you there? I can't see. I think he has logged out. Yeah.
He's not.
Yes. Yeah. The time is running short, and definitely.
Just invite Dr. Kotur. Last question to Dr. Kotur, sir, is still left if he is there. Na? I think he has joined in.
Now he is not seen. Okay. Kotur, sir, are you there? He joined in between and again got disconnected.
No, he is there, but I think
Before you close, could you be kind to give me 1 minute?
Sir, take now. Take now, sir.
Yeah. Well, at the eve of this Gurupoornima and the Doctor's Day, I really request all your stalwarts in the administration ISA, you go ahead with some sort of constructive, protocolized work pattern for the future to make our youngsters more dedicated, skilled, and responsive in their work pattern. And we should establish a relation with outside societies, not the WFSA alone, because WFSA is not going to help much, because we need some sort of company with the ASA, Canadian Society, Australian Society, New Zealand Society. Well, these guys are doing wonderful things in their respective anesthesia society, not the academics alone. We should emulate them in their ways of doing. And I am sure they will take us in their wings and will help us to develop further and further. And further, we need a large house of ISA. I mean an ISA house, not an ISA home. We need an ISA house in the New Delhi capital area. And this house, if built, probably we will be able to utilize it for many, many activities, because some of us could come there and say, and we can give the areas on hire. We can have some courses conducted there and all this, because we need a large house. Well, the best is look at the RCOA house, Royal College, because they have a 4-story building, and they give it to every particular function in the town, that particular hall, and they have conduct everything. Their examinations conduct there. That means we should really copy these sort of guys, and we should also look, because we have enough money at this stage. And again, there is not that much money in India. We need only seed money. We may be able to go through a public-private partnership program. Here, the public going to be the ISMM base, and the government going to be the ISA. That means some contribution from the ISA and the majority contribution from the members. We may be able to have some fundraise, and over the years, we may be able to make a large building in a large plot, which is going to give us money back, and we may be able to have more things in future with that, all these things. And we should bring in an attitude that other specialties should depend on us, because now we are depending to a major extent in those areas, because we have to have that pride taken back that we are the masters in volume, ventilation, pain, and we should make people depend on us for all these particular areas and for ventilating skills. Unfortunately, code was able to help us to some extent, and again promote subspecialty areas in anesthesia, because we may be able to promote ourselves through subspecialty area. And again, one thing more, that means current basic knowledge in ultrasound technology is absolutely a must for years to come, and probably if you want to go further. So with this, I conclude, and I thank ISA for organizing this particular program. Wish you all the very best in future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Katur, sir, please unmute yourself.
I don't know. Yes, sir. Sir, please.
Yeah. One second.
Yes, sir. Carry on, sir.
Yeah. Now, one good thing is that we must appreciate the efforts put forth by all the editors, Dr. Harsul, Dr. Bala Bhaskar. Then ultimately the journal got indexed with the PubMed. That was the dream. When I edited the journal, my dream was to get it indexed in the PubMed. And that took some time. Then that was carried forward. Today our journal is indexed in PubMed. And I was telling that the impact factor of a journal is a tool of measurement of the journal's quality, no doubt, but it has certain fallacies as well. So instead of solely depending on that, and what we should think is how we can increase and enhance the quality of the articles those come to our journal. And one thing I remember is that time we had started some sections like some historical section, best evidence anesthesia reports, medical education. Like that, some sections if you devote, then it will widen the scope of the journal and the quality of the articles will increase. One more thing what I've seen is our journal lacks articles from the basic science research. Now research is given such an emphasis, and the research component, basic science related to anesthesia, those kind of articles are to be included rather than only original articles or clinical investigations. Those are being done case reports. So if you do that, then certainly the journal will be more widely read or widely accepted journal, and it will attract. Of course, the now our with this virtual publications or online publications have really revolutionized every journal, and the journal reaches. Distance is not a issue at all. It's available everywhere. So with these inclusions, and another thing is, when we see, I remember why the person writes an article nowadays. With all regulated publications made compulsory, many of the articles the editorial office receives is the articles written for the sake of promotions. So the editor will have to be really scrupulous in identifying these articles, and of course you will have to have some kind of a rejection rate. Now, I don't think there is any scarcity of articles, etc. for the journal. It is the editorial team or a visitor's wisdom to initial scrutiny only before sending even to the peer review process. Choose articles which deserve to be published in the journal. So these are some of the thoughts I can think. Of course, the other things are, instead of becoming 6 issues, now 12 issues are there. Quality of journalism, the paper publication, everything is well streamlined. And of course, the last editors, etc., even the acceptance time, publication time, etc., once the article is received in the editorial office, they are all been shortened. They are all contributory factors for that. And now we have to attract the articles overseas, from overseas clinicians, overseas researchers, that thereby the journal can be enhanced.
Thank you, sir. I would like to invite Dr. Chakrarao, sir. And hearty congratulations to Chakrarao, sir, for the membership of ILCOR. Sir being a felicitated today at the Vigyan Bhavan, he accompanied Dr. Bhimeshwar, sir. So, sir, we would like to hear from you also. Unmute yourself, sir. Sir, unmute yourself. Chakrarao, sir, unmute yourself.
Good evening, my dear friends.
Good evening,
I
sir.
wish you a very, very happy Doctor's Day. Actually, I have come here. I am in Delhi to attend one NGO meeting. Actually, they have named it as the felicitation of the doctors. But I have intruded myself into that function. I have attended. Of course, it was done in a very big way. It is all not necessary for us. I'm very happy regarding the progress of Indian Society of Anesthesiologists for the last few years, and also the journal. Actually, when 12 issues are made by Dr. Balabhaskar, I thought, will it be possible and all? Can we get the number of articles and all? I thought, but he could succeed, and now the journal is in a very good position. And they are telling that the indexing is also good. So I congratulate both the secretary, of course, president, and the editor-in-chief, and all the contributors, the section editors, and everybody for doing a wonderful job. Definitely we'll meet soon. The IRCF, actually the offspring of ISA, has got the membership in ILCOR. So for that, we have to have a face-to-face meeting on certain aspects. So next month probably, or the other month, we shall meet. I thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you, Bajwa.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Venkatagiri, sir, you were not mute. Sir, you are unmuted. Venkatagiri, sir, you please come. Yeah.
Yeah, I am there.
Yeah, please, sir, your words of wisdom on Doctor's Day.
Thank you, Dr. Bajwa.
Sir, Bajwa. Bajwa.
See, I am from a very poor remote village of Kerala. My language is poor. Excuse me.
I think you are sleeping with the theatre dress. I think always.
I am in theatre dress. Yeah. Huh? I am in theatre dress. And I'm a poor man from a poor India. Okay. Excuse me for any mistakes. I heard all these things. Then we have heard from the senior most people and all our past presidents of the land people. There is nothing for me to add to what they have told. And wish all the best for the teachers. And this thing all have done very well. Especially what touched was Manjushire's words. What is the present scenario? What is that? The things have changed like that. And the present scenario is like that. We can't correct everything from ourselves. Anyway, thank you, and I wish all the best. Let us follow the protocols and do the best for the patient safety, taking patient safety as the first priority. And I wish everyone will do the same. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Manisha, I don't think so there is any more question to be left. Na? So
yeah.
actually what we heard, you can sum up first, then I can conclude. You can sum up first.
Yeah.
Dr. Manisha, Dr.
Sir.
Manisha,
Sir,
kindly
bolo.
ask question to some audience also. 1 to 2 question.
Sure, sure, sir.
Any?
Any of the delegates who have joined this webinar, if they want to talk or express themselves, kindly unmute themselves.
Dr. Gurmukh, sir. Okay. Manisha, ma'am.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, thank you. I think all of them are very happy to see all the teachers there on the platform for this webinar. And there are a lot of compliments also and pranams to all the gurus also. I'm really it is so pleasant experience today to be with you all the senior dignitaries who have worked hard for the professional organizational work, as well as good teachers, and has definitely helped so many in giving good education to so many of the students. And it's a great evening today to be with you all. Hand over to Dr. Bajwa, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Manisha, and really congratulate Dr. Manoj and Dr. Manisha for conducting this program in the best of manner. And we are really indebted to all our teachers and gurus who have appeared on the screen. They have spent their precious time today. It cannot be repaid. This is valuable advices, valuable words of wisdom. What we have heard today, I think on a single platform, on a single day, for a minimum period of time, we have collected all the pearls today. Everything is being noted and everything is being recorded. And this will go on record that all the suggestions, advices, encouragement, and the scope of improvement, it will be imbibed in the working of ISA. As a teacher, sir, you have made a mark. You all have made a mark on us. We are indebted for that also. And regarding the ISA, whatever the things have been said today, we have noted each and every point. I can very well feel the way I'm talking about myself and Dr. Manoj and Dr. Manisha, where we are standing today, how the ISA has got inside our brains and heart. I think the same feeling must be in your brain and heart when you were the office bearers and you were carrying out the ISA activities. Every day when we wake up, the things start, the ISA. What is to be done today? What is left from behind? Last day, how to carry forward? How much work we can do in this single day? Definitely, today I'm feeling a pinch that 24 hours is a less time. The work of ISA is too much. The advice of all the stalwarts, teachers, because now the things have come up to a different standard. The academics have to go, as advised by Dr. Radhakrishnan sir also. When we are matching the global standards of academics, so you have to gear up. Gearing up to the academic standards of the global society is itself a challenge. Apart from that, the membership data, the memberships have grown to such an extent. We are more than 40,000 members, but the approval members will be 40,000 very soon. So keeping in touch with those members, so their problems every day, and in between, so many things that the cases are going on. One point Dr. Kotur said, it touched my heart, that make it such a way that anesthesiologists should have a say, should have an impact on the students rather than just having an academic importance of having recognized as a separate subject. That was my feeling also somehow, where the anesthetist, where the anesthesiologist, where the intensive care should have an impact on the students, that this branch which is not being taught as a separate subject, but it exists as a separate identity. It has a separate, importance of its own. The emergencies, the operation theater, the ICU, the pain, and all the outside the operation theaters, procedures. So anesthesiologists are involved everywhere, even the emergency medicine. Dr. Sadhana is the emergency medicine teacher. I'm emergency medicine professional, and majority of the anesthesia departments of the country are handling the emergency medicine department in all the institutions. So this branch has been given weightage in the latest NMC curriculum for the competency-based medical education program. And the posting hours have increased because what we are receiving nowadays, even the MBBS students coming to the anesthesia department, the onus is on us now. How we teach them, how we tell them the importance of our specialty so that it gives them awareness to those people. It just can't say that people coming to the OT, okay, you watch this surgery, you watch this intubation, everything. You teach them all the aspects. That is where the importance of anesthesia will be recognized in the coming days. Having all said and done, we have to cover a journey. We have to cover a journey over a long period of time. Definitely the suggestion of a ISA house in the NCR, I have been hearing from Dr. Radhakrishnan sir for a long time now. I think that is the good suggestion to have a ISA house where we can have a central, nodal point where different courses can be conducted, different fellowships can be conducted, so many things can be done, and that will give an identity at a global level. I think going into this general body meeting, we will get that thing passed also, because it's not a funding. We can get a contribution, we can go for the public-private partnership, we can go for other things also. And presently, we are going with other specialties now. I will just make you aware that on Doctor's Day, I will be getting in touch with other specialties whom I've called personally. All this FOXY, the Orthopedic Association, the Surgeons Association, the endocrinologists, the neurosurgeons, and different associations, we will be in touch with them for our academic programs in the coming years, the coming months also, so that we can work upon a common platform for the betterment of our medical professional services, betterment of anesthesia and surgical services, and development of new projects, academic projects, guidelines, and making this the way to make awareness about anesthesia to the other specialties. We have already done enough work in our own backyard where we have done the awareness of anesthesia among our own society. But now the time has come that we spread our wings and go to the other specialties where we can make them aware. Yeah, we are at the par with the global standards, and now we have tried to encompass all the specialties, other specialties, and super specialties where we are making them aware of our services, our attitude, and our importance to them. I think here we require the blessings, here we require the cooperation of each and every senior anesthesiologist. Today evening, one survey has been circulated toward the national groups where it's about the medico-legal aspect. That survey must be completed by every anesthesiologist, because in that survey, a drug reaction, it was a case in Warangal. When you go through it, you will come to know about it. So in such scenarios, we have to keep our branch safe. We have to protect our specialty. There are so many incidences happening recently in the different cities where ISA has come to the help at the right time, and ISA is always being acknowledged for these things. And all these things, what we have got today, they have come from our senior members. So many past presidents, senior presidents are here. They have guided ISA through this journey, and we are very much blessed to have so many senior and stalwarts here on the stage. And I definitely, along with the entire GC team, our president sir could not make it today because he is being arrested at Vigyan Bhavan, Delhi. But all the people who are here, we are blessed to have senior people here and who have agreed to come on a very short notice. I'm really thankful to all our teachers and seniors here. With this, I just request, keep blessing us, keep helping us, keep guiding us so that we can keep the ISA flag flying high. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, ISA. Jai ISA.
Thank you, Bajwa. I think we can adjourn the meeting by order of our senior person. Yes, senior.
I think Dr. Venkatagiri sir is the right person to conclude the meeting today. He is being the academic chairman. Sir, Venkatagiri sir, you have to conclude the meeting today. Unmute yourself.
What is that when we have heard so many learned people? I am the junior most among all these things and not academician to conclude.
No, it's not
And
a academician of things, sir.
really,
You are a very senior person.
really, it was good that we could hear our senior past presidents and other members. We could hear both. Along with the past president, we have Sadhana Kulkarni madam and Tej Kaur sir both participated and put their inputs and what was that time, what is happening now, how they taught, how they are teaching. Though everybody, Dr. Anjana, he was not, but everybody, he is a teacher par excellence. I know that how he teaches pulse oximetry, the basics and every in-depth, yes, the in-depth knowledge of machines, pulse oximetry, other things. Is that everybody is a teacher because you teach others, and when I am a senior, I teach my juniors. I also. So there's everybody is a teacher. Some have taught me, some have taught others, but how they have come up, how they have taught, how it has changed over the years and all. Thank you very much, and it was really a good evening. 2 hours hearing you all, and we will say more such programs in the coming times from others also. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Just a thing, Dr. Agnihotri sir was also there. I just missed it. Agnihotri sir, can you unmute and turn your video on? Yeah, you are there, sir. Sir, unmute yourself.
Good evening, dear.
Good evening, sir. Sir, nice to see
It
you.
was a great day for me to listen all the stalwarts are talking about the past of the ISA. And they are giving their beautiful and wonderful experience and suggestions for that thing. And our learned president and editor has contributed a lot of things to the ISA. Heartiest congratulations to every speaker and every past president and editor who participated. From my side, only simple suggestion is that ISA is passing through very critical stage at this time because you have to touch now world flora. You have to participate in the World Federation, and my wish is that World Federation conference should be held in India. What Radha is talking, that our person should go outside. I wish they should come to India and see the progress of ISA and the banner of ISA, anesthesia, progress of anesthesia and the banner of ISA in India. And personally, my feeling is that we should take care of the rural services also, which is lacking. One of our president past president has mentioned that thing, how badly the anesthesia services are going on in the rural area and remote places. Kindly look into the matter regarding the training and the professional aptitude of the anesthesia towards the lower class. That is my humble request. As far as the journal is concerned, congratulations to our new editor and the past editor for their wonderful efforts. During my time, journal was a miracle. Sometimes you get in a year, 3 months, 4 months, one issue, that too incomplete, improperly printed, and everything. Now it is regular. I wish great success of ISA and IJ, both of them. Thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I must compliment Dr. Agnihotri. Our ardent desire of all our past presidents is to bring the World Congress to India. That's what, it may not be an overnight process, but, if we start making effort in a couple of years.
2032 is, you should extend the invitation in 2032 and it will be online.
Yes.
90% members will be online. So there will not be any problem in India regarding that phenomenon.
Yeah, with young Dr. Bajwa, Dr. Naveen, young force, UIL, UIS has come. I think the dream is not far.
I may not be there, but I wish they should be hold the post, higher
No,
post
no,
of
sir.
the president of
All
world.
will be there, sir. We all
Sir,
will
no,
be there.
no dialogue permitted. No such dialogue permitted here. Like that, I will not be there.
Correct. I'm sorry
Nothing
for my
permitted here.
dialogue, but there is no question of permission. I know the truth. So
Sir,
no problem.
No. You can't say like that
wish
here.
my young generation should hold the post of that. That is my wishful thinking.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Naveen, you want to say something?
Just to Dr. Agnihotre's thing, sir, and Dr. Couture's thing. Sir, last year in Shillong, when Dr. Venkatgiri was in chair and I was a secretary, we had taken the approval by the AGVM and the common sense of the house to bid for the WFSA World Congress in the year 2030-2032. So we are following it very closely, and at appropriate time, the bid will be made. And Dr. Bajwa will be shown sharing also officially that we will be holding one international conference next year also. So let it come from the appropriate quarters. So we are moving into that direction. These two things we had already, we plan that every alternate year we have an international conference in India by Indian Society of Anesthesiologists.
Great.
Last year we had SARC, 2022 we had SARC, 2024 is already lined up. Information will be due very soon. And then we are looking at 26, 28 and 30, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So rather the planning is every year we should have one international conference or maybe a SAR conference, something like that. The next year, sir, we will be telling you about the details of the next year conference, most probably in the month of June 2024. And once it is, everything is finalized, so we will be making public the international conference in India.
Good.
Yeah. So now with the final words, I would like to say thank you, everyone. We bow our heads over teachers and all the gurus, and it was really very heartwarming. Whatever the advices, whatever the teachings we got today also, we call it teachings only, whatever the words of wisdom were conveyed to us, there are certain advices, we'll work upon them, we will try to improve and take the ISA to some newer heights again in the very coming days. So with this, I seek permission from every senior member here to conclude this event. So, and we should together say, long live ISA.
Long live ISA.
Long live ISA.
Long live ISA.
Jai Hind and good night.
Good night.